How do you keep from overwhelming your audience with too much information by putting in too many slides and other visual distractions when giving a presentation? Well, it's really very simple. It's all about the planning process. If your planning process is, let me gather more facts, let me gather more information, let me put more and more bullet points on slides and add more slides and add, and then think about what to take out, you've already lost the game. You'll never win this battle. You're going to overwhelm your audience. And it's not that they're going to be thinking, oh gosh, there's so much great information here. Let me suck it all up. No. They're going to think, this is just a chaotic mess. Let me ignore the speaker and check my cell phone because my friends and colleagues are sending me one message at a time in a text message or an email. So let's start off at the very beginning. The beginning of a presentation is not, well, here are 29 different slides I used last month or my colleague used last week. Let me save time by recycling them and going through them quickly. It cannot be, here's the big marketing document our marketing team spent $200,000 researching, so I have to put all these message points into every presentation. That is not a prescription for success when it comes to presenting. You've got to start off at the very fundamentals, and that is asking yourself, what is it I want my audience to do after hearing me present? Do I want them to buy from me? Do I want them to approve a budget? If it's a job interview, do I want them to hire me? Do I want them to vote for me? Do I want them to support my tax increase or my tax cut? What is it you want them to do? Now, you got to brainstorm on every possible message point that you think is going to motivate your audience to do what you want them to do. Brainstorm. It could be 5, 10, 15, 20, 50. Now all these old slides you have may come in handy. But here's the most important part next. Put them in priority, get rid of anything that isn't in the top 5. You got to throw away your babies, as great editors talk about their writing. This is crucial. You now have to apply the very same thing to every slide you have. So ask yourself when you're showing a slide, what's the worst thing that could happen if I didn't show this to the audience? Would anything really bad happen? If the answer is no, don't show it. Ask yourself, is this a nice to know or is this a have to know? You've got to be greedy and selfish when it comes to ideas you're putting in front of your audience, because you have to realize it's hard to get audiences to remember ideas from any speaker, even if you're the best speaker in the world. So you don't want to reduce your chances of getting your most important ideas remembered by throwing up lots of clutter. So you've got to apply stringent rules and standards for every single slide. It's not, well, the team already spent a bunch of time on it, and the graphic looks nice, and it's the same color scheme, and the punctuation is nice, and it's been approved by investor relations. That cannot be the standard of what you use to submit and put a slide in front of your audience. That's a horrible standard. Ask yourself, does this slide absolutely 100% make an idea more understandable and more memorable than you simply saying it out loud? If you cannot say yes to both questions, take that slide, tear it up, throw it in the garbage can, or better yet, hit delete. Or you can email it to people if they want more information, or give it as a handout. But whatever you do, I'm begging you, do not project it on a screen while you're talking to people. It is doing no good. So when it comes to slides, handouts, visuals, anything, you need to apply a strict scrutiny to it. You need to hold it to high standard. Now here's the ultimate standard. You absolutely, positively want to make sure your slides are helping your audience and therefore helping you. You need to apply this standard. This is a very advanced standard. Very few people do it. It works 100% of the time. If you're giving a PowerPoint slide show, if you're giving a prepared presentation to 30 executives on Thursday, whether they're clients, prospects, potential investors, and you want to know if the slide is working or not, test it. That's right. You can actually test slides to see if they work. Now, how do you do that? Do you ask people one at a time, you like this slide? Completely worthless. They'll probably say, oh yeah, it looks nice. It's a nice logo. Color scheme looks nice. Complete waste of time. What you need to do is find 2 or 3 people who are similar to your audience that you're going to be speaking to on Thursday. Get them together on Tuesday, lunchtime, or during the workday, after hours, and don't tell them what you're doing. Don't say, I'm trying to figure out if these slides are great or not. That's going to skew the results. Instead, simply give your presentation. When you're done with the presentation, and you've shown them the slides along the way, just as you would in real life for Thursday. When you are done with your presentation, ask your audience, ask your focus group, even if it's one person, tell me every single slide you remember, what was on it, and what was the message behind it that you took away. Now, this is going to be eye-opening for you, because what you're going to find is most people are going to say, I don't know. I'm sort of getting the sense that you know what you're talking about, and you're smart, and you're working hard. That means you didn't communicate much. Every single slide where someone in your test group says, oh, I remember this particular slide, and they're describing it to you, and they're getting the description accurate, and they can tell you what the message was, and it's what the message you intended, you now have 100% empirical evidence that that slide works. Great. Congratulations. Keep the slide, use it in real life on Thursday, knowing that it's effective. It's been tested. There's proof it works. Now, here's the problem. Chances are the vast majority of your slides are not going to pass that test. And now you've got a choice. You could say, well, I'm going to ignore the evidence and just throw my garbage out to the audience, knowing it doesn't work. But hey, I've taken the time to create these slides, so what the heck? That's, in fact, what most people do. That's not what any good speaker does. And it's the worst nightmare of any great communicator. So use this evidence. If you have a slide that people don't remember and they don't get the idea behind it, throw it away. Here's a little time saver for you. Any text you have that is a bullet point with text, in my professional experience, having tested audiences all over the globe for decades in every culture, in different languages, nobody ever remembers a slide with a bullet point in text. Well, why is that? Because text, words are made up of letters. Letters are abstractions, part of higher level thinking with human language. Well, guess what? You already have a way of communicating language. It's by speaking. So you putting text up on a slide doesn't really add anything. If it's just words can come out of your mouth. The beauty of a slide is to put a visual in front of people that people can see. So that will eliminate all your bad slides if you follow that rule. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is do not ask your audience to multitask. Your audience can do one thing at a time. We human beings love to think we can multitask. I like to think I can multitask. I'm trying to look at my screen here and my mixer here and see how many people are live and all these other things. But all I can really do is think about this topic and talk to you at one moment and do that well. So if you're putting up a slide for people to look at, close your mouth. Stop. Look at it. Let them look at it. Now, here's the part that's going to blow your mind away. You may have never seen it before. But when you are speaking, take the slide down. That's right. Take the slide down, show nothing. What I do is I build a blank screen in between every PowerPoint slide. It's just a black screen. So when I advance one, it's black. It appears as though the projector is projecting nothing. Or if it's a television screen, it appears as though the TV's been turned off. Guess what happens to the audience? They have no choice but to look at me at that particular moment. So they don't have to make a decision. Do I look at the screen? Do I look at what the speaker's saying? Do I look at hand notes? There's none of this multitasking choice. I'm asking my audience to do one thing at a time. If there's a screen, look at it. I'm not going to talk to you while it's up there. If I'm talking, nothing else interesting. You're going to look at me and listen to me. Now, if you want to use handouts, that's fine. I use handouts, but do it in a very specific way. Typically, if I've finished an entire section on a particular topic, let's say I've just finished a summary of top 10 tips on how to deliver an effective PowerPoint presentation, I would stop, give a handout that lists the top 10 tips, and I would actually stop, not say anything, wait for people to look at it, read it, wait for heads to come back up and look at me, and then I would proceed. Or I would give the handout at the end of the presentation. You want to be keenly aware of the attention of your audience. You want to be jealous of your audience's attention. You do not want your audience focused on their cell phone unless you specifically ask them to tweet some brilliant comment you think you just made. Even then, I'd be very careful. You think they're tweeting you, and they're checking sports scores and weather for tomorrow's ball game. So be conscious of your audience's attention. Anything can distract them. Too many slides can easily distract people. But you can have 5 slides. If all 5 are boring slides with no visuals and too much complexity and a lot of words, those slides are going to detract them. If you say stuff that's boring, that is going to distract your audience because they're going to fall asleep, zone out, start talking to people, or on their cell phone. So these are tips you need to follow if you really want to connect with your audience, communicate with your audience, and not allow your visuals, your slides to detract from you or your message. If you want to be more successful, then improve your communication skills. The best way to do that? Smash the subscribe button right now.